I need a study on that. How often when people fap are they matching the climax to the climax versus just watching any part in the middle? Let's get into it. Call in. The lines are open.
Truly wonder.
Hey everyone, it's the Katie Willert Experience. That's Katie Willert.
Hi.
And I'm not. Today, we're going to be reacting to a little sketch you can find on this very YouTube channel, or by going to YouTube and searching proof that women are just as good at sports in movies. Uh-oh. Here we go. No, before we watch, I will ask, are there any sketches? Because we made several hundred. Yeah. Are there any that you're like, I wish I didn't? Because like Adam Ganzer, crack director, wishes he didn't make the Quentin Tarantino trailer one. I know that.
That's funny. I usually like giant dicks.
Are there sketches that haunt you?
Honestly, no. I don't think so. Even
good.
Like I think about Clitter. Like I still watch Clitter. That's like pre-cracked. Those aren't my
It was our first 1 million view video. Yeah.
And I still think it's funny. I don't know. Like I'm
Clitter's the only glitter product you apply directly to the vagina.
I used to make my gynecologist dry heave, but now that I use Clitter, I love showing it off at the Home Depot, church, or a parent-teacher conference.
Nothing wrong with Clitter. I think Clitter's a good sketch.
It's glitter for
but
your vagina.
Yeah, one of our core actors, Bailey Hopkins, after Clitter was like, I'm not gonna work with the truth anymore.
Does the sight of your vagina throw others into violent rage?
Too offensive. So speaking of too offensive, I don't actually think it's that bad.
Clitter turned my yeast infection into a jewel collection.
I will say the one for me though is The Kid's a Champ Valentine's Day sketch, which is just straight up pedophilia jokes. It's hard for me to watch now. But
if wanting the children to learn is wrong, then I don't want to be right.
Hey, some people would rather stay in the dark ages where nobody reads and kids don't have sex with each other. It's crazy. I know, but there it is.
But I do stand behind the sketch I made called Tent Abortion. Check that one out. Now, Katie and I are going to watch and live react to proof that women are just as good at sports and movies. You queued up?
Yeah, I'm gonna count down and then say play, and play is when we
do
hit
it.
The thing. Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1, play. There's something very
I love
pleasing.
that clicky intro.
Yeah, about that
now
sound.
It's nostalgic to us for sure.
It's incredibly sexist. Okay, they're professionals just like the men. They deserve equal respect.
I love that blazer.
I just don't like watching
it. Was vintage.
I mean, the WNBA is just like a slowed down, less energetic version
More Daniel Gord, if you saw our first episode. I mean, he's a star.
The best WNBA team, pit them against the worst NBA team, and the women still lose.
You know he's a good actor because, man, Daniel is not this guy.
Sports wrong.
Sports wrong.
Me.
Captain Sports wrong.
You, 4 p.m. There's a court down the street.
Oh, really?
This is one of the sketches.
Guess it wouldn't hurt to warm up before
You
I
use a
hit the
particular
gym.
Katie voice in this sketch that you used in some sketches and not others.
I know exactly what you're talking about. Hey, it's still wearing the ring.
Go! And this angry Katie. Oh, same ring. Oh.
Ow! Really
Angry
hurt?
Katie mouth.
Yeah, when I'm angry, my mouth gets very small.
Surprise, you even showed up at all, muchacho.
Great delivery of
Yeah,
muchacho.
it stands for Women's National Basketball Association.
I know. You know, I just thought that afterwards maybe I could play some
Baseball.
Wow.
I love playing an idiot. It makes me really happy.
Your ball first.
Idiot's the funnest. That's why I was like, I thought
Yes.
I had the best job in After Hours or Slash, even our whole personas. Because like my written column was also Dumb Guy. Let's focus.
Truly,
But Dumb Guy's always the best.
this was so much fun to shoot.
What? Oh, I bet that was super fun to improv. Just fuck up, do stuff that's dumb with the basketball, do that. Yeah.
That was my favorite part, trying to spin the ball on my finger, which actually I can do.
I don't even.
I love this edit. how it hits. That was my favorite, the third of going opposite direction.
It's a
Small
great
mouth.
mathematical Oh, he gets a small
Small mouth
mouth when
anger.
he's angry too. Wow. Epic pit hair. Yes, the duck walk.
Yeah, the volleyball.
He's just getting drunk.
It's just the same shot repeated, like that. Oh yes.
That's a stunt double. Wait, who was
Oh,
that?
that was
I think
Kevin
you've learned
Best.
a valuable lesson here.
Was that?
Yeah, what's
oh,
that?
okay.
Yeah.
Well, no video is gonna let a smug, ripped guy like you beat a cute girl like me. It's movie law.
Yeah, whatever. You made me miss the gym, so.
Girl power.
It's
Have a good
true.
day.
Girl power is
Man, you should really get
pulverizing
stunt
the
double like
dude in
that.
the balls.
I love
you
Kevin
know?
Best.
That's what modern feminism
This is
all
my
about.
favorite.
Girl, you can really dunk.
Oh,
you.
this. Yes, this is the
This
best.
was entirely
Was this
improvised.
an impulse on the moment? Yeah.
Yeah, we just
I am starting.
kept going and improvising, and then we both just started climbing up the fucking fence.
I am so high. There's or at UCSD, I think we must have done it at some point, or I don't know for sure, but viewpoints. Did you
Yep.
do that subset
Yep.
of improv games? It's almost like a psychic connection game where everyone will stand in a circle and you're supposed to all do something in unison and not know who initiated it. And you do it until your cycles line up essentially. And it does work. It's trippy, like a party game. You could do it a sleepover. It's trippy in that way. But my point is you guys were locked on that. Like as you got too close to the fence, clearly you both were like,
Let's just do it.
I know what you're thinking.
Yeah.
Let's do
I
that.
think it was the wig. I think when he put the wig on and I took my hair down, we connected spiritually, psychologically, physically.
Oh, sure.
We're able to kind of be on the same wavelength. Yeah, I remember just like, they're like, okay, so walk away holding hands and just like talk about what, just improvise what you want to do after, now that you're done, doing sports.
Girl, you can really dunk.
Thank you.
I do. I remember getting closer and closer to the fence and just like, let's keep going and climbing up. Yeah.
Good tip for director, I think in every mood, but especially comedy. Documentary too, if you're trying to gotcha someone, because people start feeling awkward and screw up. But just don't say cut for way longer than the actors think it will be. A lot of times they'll just stand there and then finally go, are we? And you won't. But sometimes they will feel on the spot and do something amazing.
Something weird.
Because they don't understand what you want from them. And they'll just do something and you'll be like, that was the
Great.
funniest possible thing because you didn't know what you were supposed to do.
Yeah.
And it also reminds me of my favorite Wet Hot American Summer
They
joke,
all
which I
stand
used
up
to
and-
worship,
wait.
where they just stand
Hold
and
on.
face the
Hold on.
wall.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, yes, that bit.
You guys, wake up.
Same deal. They were like, didn't know how to end the take. That's a good solve. So let's talk about, since you brought it up, did you like, or how does it feel different to have scripted bits and then like make choices of how you're going to hit a thing versus there's a special subset of bits, right? Where the director will go, well, in this part of the sketch, it's just play sports wrong. Or I'm thinking of an Agents of Cracked where it's like, what does Mike do at the office overnight unattended? And he literally just ran a long take going like, go do something. Okay,
Fuck
run to a
around.
different room.
Right.
Like, what would Mike do? And it is super fun. How do you like those
Yeah,
bits?
it's funny. It's even in life now and just generally everything I do, but also acting is I like having a container and I like to play in that container. So for me, the structure of the script is really like the thing, and then being able to like dick around inside those parameters is really fun. Because, I do think it, obviously everything that is said in the script is informs what the improv is going to be. Like, yeah, how would you dribble? and I'm not good at dribbling. I'm not particularly athletic in that coordination is not me. Although I can spin a basketball on my finger.
Yeah, we get it, Katie.
I want everyone to know I can spin a fucking basketball on my finger.
Can you prove that? Do you have a basketball?
No, I don't. I don't have any. I mean, I have the lamp that I'm using primarily.
Very convenient.
That was sort of like a lot of play. When you get physical, it is like, let's just run. Let's just turn the camera on. You're going to make a bunch of shots. What does it look like when you try to make a bunch of shots and when you don't know what you're doing, which luckily I don't quite know what I'm doing. So it was fun because I could be really physical and just like do something that absolutely would not get the ball in the basket, because the whole joke is that in the edit, it will go in. We talk about like, do these sketches age well? I still think this is very funny. I don't find it like because it's true. It's like that asshole guy who's trying to prove the girl wrong. Like we still don't want to see it. You know what I mean? Like
I was gonna say on Rewatch, it's more that she has protagonist status. So I was gonna say my jokes don't bear fruit at all. It's actually very crackedy, which is great because this is so early in the run. I don't think everything was hitting this, but obviously this is the exact kind of thing that became Crack's main bread and butter, which is, you notice how in movies they always do this and we just take it for granted. That's dumb. Yeah. How it's like a formula. Let's talk about it. Which is 90% of discourse now. You're welcome.
We did that.
We did it. It's all only us.
Yeah, it's like maybe
Rachel Bloom and Adam Conover, and that's it.
Maybe The Little Mermaid is just meant to be The Little Mermaid and not an allegory for something. I don't know. I was like trying to not everything is.
But I also am really impressed, as I'm sure I was those years ago when I saw it, with because man, comedy writers and people who are in comedy a long time, I think, or a certain type, definitely a crack, become comedy snobs and obsessed with joke math and the rules and like nerd out about all the little details that comedians tend to find. Oh, that's a pattern. It's such a subtle pattern. Only another comedy writer would notice it over the years, that jokes are shaped this way. And we had a pretty high standard. We're pretty snobby, and the Disastronauts nail it. And it's because everyone along the line has to have a good sense of humor and understand timing and development. So by which I mean, obviously the troupe understands the bit. The guy holding the camera understands how to support what you're doing in real time in a funny way in terms of how close, how active, blah, blah, blah. And then the editor, who maybe was the same guy holding the camera.
Yeah, I think it was Kevin.
I don't know.
Or not Kevin.
But
wait, was it Kevin? Because Kevin was also a member, Kevin Best. So like he was there for a lot.
He might have been opera.
And I don't know. I can't remember if he also did more like behind the scenes stuff as well, because it has been so terribly long. But that's like for me with sketch, you can have a joke in the performance. You can have a physical joke, you can have a written joke, and you can have a joke in the edit. And for me, I really appreciate sketches where you hit all of them, right? Like you can have a sketch that is very funny that is solely jokes in the, in the writing and then the performance, right? Or, but they're in a room and the shot doesn't change. But I really like when you get all the different flavors. And I feel like this is actually like, not to toot the horn of us, but
it's almost textbook. It's very tight and correct.
Yeah.
Meaning like the editor, I'm like, you took the random reel of Katie improvs and put them in the correct order where if you do take UCB classes, that's the order in which they should build. The going backwards one is in the proper place.
Yeah. Technically, it's a very good, and that's the thing that I feel like, we get away from, and why I actually like this seems really silly, but why I really liked like Vine is because sketches on Vine, like you had to kind of know the economy of like, you only had a certain amount of time. Like, how do you tell the joke? How do you visually tell the joke, in the fastest amount of time? And I feel like, how could you be creative with a very small, another location I'm pretty sure we stole, that's a park on Wilshire almost in Koreatown, like just down the street from.
Well, yeah, you didn't pay for all those extras in the background going about their business. That's for sure. Yeah.
No, yeah, and like if you think about it, when you have to run and gun a sketch like that, you don't bring anything, right? You like come in your costume, you have a prop, you have a camera on a mount. I don't even think we had a bounce. Maybe we had a bounce, and I know we had a ladder because Kevin had to get up on the ladder in order to be able to dunk the ball.
Oh, burn, Kevin.
What? No, I mean, it's hard to dunk a ball even if you're like a normal sized dude.
Gotta point out, by far, the graph on YouTube that says most replayed segment, apparently everyone thinks that's the funniest joke in the sketch because literally second to second, the shot of him as the stuntman dunking is like the spike of everyone's like, that joke's funny, I'm gonna watch
honestly,
it again. Oh, you know what? I bet it's because people would reverse to be like, oh, it is a stuntman. That's the joke. Yeah, that's probably it.
When they started doing that on YouTube, I love it. When they started showing the most watched, like it's my favorite thing of in like K-pop performances. It's always like when someone flashes abs that the spike happens. Like there's always like, what the spike is going to be. It's the thing that people clip to make.
It's on brand for me, Michael Swain, to go here. But as we discussed on Crack multiple times, one of a factoid we liked to promote is porn is an amazing frontier of innovation in tech because they unabashedly just want to trade orgasms for money and get as much and make that experience seamless and guilt-free so you don't think about society and you just do it and pay them. So like that was first implemented on Pornhub, and that's weird because you'd be like, everyone really likes this moment of these titties slapping against this dick. Or, you'd really be like, people like this part. Okay.
Well, see, I always just assume that's the coming. Is that like that's what people are watching the cum shot?
That's what I'm saying is the cum shot is not always the spike. Yeah.
Interesting.
Which you'd think just mirror neurons wise. I need a study on that. How often when people fap are they matching the climax to the climax versus just watching any part in the middle? Let's get into it. Call in. The lines are open.
Truly wonder. Well, because porn, there's like this thing of in line of they are kind of the next frontier of where tech is going. When it was kind of beta tapes and VHS were kind of in trying to figure out who's going to be the next one. Porn was the one that decided. Porn went with VHS, and then everyone went with VHS.
Yeah, very hot scenes was what it was originally stood for. That terrible joke made me realize I don't know what VHS stands for. Call in. The lines are open.
What is VHS?
Let's see.
God.
It's recommending me the TMZ sketch, also a good sketch. What if we just started watching
the autoplay where it took us?
I went through Snooki's garbage with my bare hands and found out what kind of tampons she uses.
Yeah, we slowly get radicalized by the algorithm in front of their very eyes. Was it on the and just as astronauts in generally, where was it on the scale of like grueling? Because some sketches, like we have a sketch where I start as Coco the gorilla, and it ruined my wrists and knees in a way that they still are.
That was
like
the
for the rest of my life.
Before I did a sketch with you guys, and I remember.
Yeah, so did Nat, and famously, like Abe is very good at his craft, and Muskets was very serious about quality. We tried to be. So we were hard on our actors sometimes. How were Disastronauts? Were they casual or were they like, no?
They were always like, I think we all kind of had an agreement of like the most efficient we can be is the best, right? Because we were stealing all of these. So unless we were inside, like doing some shooting interior, like if we were outside, we were trying to be as efficient as humanly possible. So those never went that. I don't feel like even the sketch, which I think we'll get to, was the person directing traffic. Like I was outside, but I didn't shoot that portion for I think longer than half an hour. I think when you have, because Daniel's an actor, Katie's an actor, like when you have actors who are also producing and directing, I feel like you just have holistically a better understanding of like the capability of the human body and like what feels good, how long someone can go. I feel like we were pretty aware of that. This is a funny sketch though, in particular. I'm going to share probably something that is TMI. So I was on my period in this sketch. And I was wearing.
Well, I think that goes without saying. It's clear from the video.
But I'm wearing white pants, and this was before I started using a Diva cup. I was like full tampons all the way. Did not bring a second tampon, so literally
Rookie
in
shit.
the last probably like half hour, 45 minutes of the shoot, I started bleeding onto my pants. So the fact that like I'm climbing up that fucking fence and you cannot see menstrual blood on my ass is like an insane thing to me these days, because I was like, what's
amazing to me or just as like a symbol of extreme femininity, fuck the toxic guy, I dunk on you, I kicked you in the balls. That actually technically would work as a joke beat in the context.
Just blood down the inside.
Well, yeah, if you like kicked him in the balls and as he fell, the camera lowered and you have menstrual blood, you're like, I am fertility.
I was terrified I was going to have to sneeze at any point, because that would have just been.
I didn't know that did that.
Well, so
ladies, I'm learning more every day.
If you have a tampon and it's primarily absorbed everything, right? You need to remove it
like,
and change it.
It's like a pop gun. It just shoots out.
It doesn't shoot out, but you
eyes.
Squeeze, and then it just everything that's been absorbed by the tampon comes down the string.
If Cracked uses this, I'll be very impressed.
I think it's important for people to know. Like,
it's crucial. That's what I'm saying. I'll be proud of the
uterus
brand.
havers to know that, like, I was on my heaviest flow day having to climb up a fucking fence. But then I got a menstrual cup and that shit.
Having to climb up a fence. I
chose to climb up a fence. Yeah. Kevin Best and I chose to climb up a fence. But yeah, I just remember sitting. It was like we were ready to go. Like we had finished. And I remember being it was like a public park. So it was like one of those LA city, like, park services bathrooms where like the toilet is metal and there's no it's open to the elements and there's like no toilet paper.
I love the guy side, the urinals are just a metal box, and when you pee in, it sounds like it's like raining in a lunchbox or something. Yeah, it's this loud, booming, tinny sound. Good times.
Yeah, and then I came out, and they were like, "Oh yeah, I think we're wrapped for today," and I'm like, "Thank God."
Okay.
Yeah.
What's interesting is just how different the vibes, because you can rank them. I think you're right. As an actor, they probably had a different value set, and they were more likely to steal stuff outdoors. But like, After Hours took way longer to shoot than people assume when they watch it. And so did a bunch of stuff. And it was because our primary in-house directors, Abe Epperson and Adam Ganzer, who joined a few years later and then was there forever, both, how do I put this kindly? Because this is the boat I'm into. When they were young men, they had ambition and thought they'd be, we were all on the road to some kind of like.
Well, they were also coming from USC Film. Like they
that's
were
what I'm saying.
directors. Like
they both graduated from the finest film school in the world that graduated, Ryan Coogler and all these people. And so you have to put yourself in their mindset. Even though we're shooting these stupid sketches, they're trying to build real material to go after their crazy dreams that they have in Hollywood. So they sucked. Like Abe would push. And what's funny is from his perspective, and he was being as scrappy and efficient as possible because Cracked made him. But from the actor's perspective, man, he'd push as long as, like, he'd use us as long as he could. And then Adam, double that. Back me up on that. Yeah, meticulous, and they'd get good results. But
I feel like Adam and I
sometimes.
Adam and I in particular, I feel like, I mean, Abe and I have a very special relationship, just I think because we've been together, worked together for so long. But then Adam and I feel like, for me as an actor, as someone who never got to really do, because I went to school, graduated theater, emphasis in acting and not comedy, like I did, was like a Viewpoints actor, Meisner, like trained in that, in
I
more
totally
serious
wanted
theater.
to be on Broadway doing dark, fucked up guys. or
Yeah, and so
whatever. Yeah, totally.
but it led me. I was doing comedy on film. So for me, working with Adam, I feel like he knew that I wanted to have the experience of like more of a like actor's experience. So I always felt really like it was always challenging, but I don't know. I just, with him, that was like almost a treat. Like, what did we do? Oh God, what was that Trump? There was like a Trump sketch series.
He did rom.com, and I felt that energy a lot. Or like that was a good set for actors.
Was I in rom.com?
No, I'm vamping, so you can think of the sketch you're trying to
Sorry,
think of.
I can't remember. It was Trump related,
Okay.
I believe.
Isn't everything now?
But yeah, it felt like a short film to me.
Oh yeah, Adam several times made sketches that this is a thing I regret and will haunt me in my life forever is after Cracked was already the first wave or whatever was crashing upon the shore. I started knowing more and more friends whose careers were launched by the fact that they won or placed highly in a film festival with a short film that I would watch and go,
That's a sketch.
that counts as a short
Yeah.
film? That's a sketch. It turns out we made at least 50 videos that could be considered short films. And if you call it that, you can enter it in all these contests. And we totally skipped that whole process. But Adam's, I will just highlight, like, Adam was almost always secretly making a short film. He also did Mundane Superheroes. Feels like a really high quality short film. You're not in it, so we won't talk about it.
Still good. But yeah,
Still good.
It is interesting when you work with different directors too. Cause like with Abe, I felt like just shorthand, like because we worked together so much, I think I knew when I worked with Abe, I always knew what he was wanting. Just in how, he would ask me something very general, but I think I knew what the vibe was. And then, yeah, Adam was like, we'll probably talk about it with Ayn Rand, but I remember like sitting with him on the patio having conversations, about this character, which is like very different from any other, very different than like, let's put Katie in witch prosthetics and have her just vibe, like,
Directing is so interesting too. Because, yeah, I would say there's two layers to that. They had different tones that they like their set at. Abe's is friendly, cozy, casual so that everyone doesn't get nervous or in their head or think it's a big deal. Adam's a little more, I want to say snobby, but I don't mean it in a bad way because it's actually how I direct when I direct. He's more like serious and let's get into their motivations and stuff. And you'll get different results. And I'm sure Abe and Adam would tweak based on the genre they're in. But I think Adam approached comedy, and I can say this because he said it to me, as an outsider. Like, he's funny and has a great sense of humor and is sharp, but it wasn't a thing that he was studying joke math or going to UCB or whatever. Abe did. So Abe was like, all I really need from you in this shot is for you to look left and have your eyes go up, because I know that will cut together in the punchy way that will make the joke hit. And Adam would be like, even in his head, if he knew that was the thing, he would do the thing you're technically supposed to do, or they taught us at UCSD, which is not tell you exactly what to do and go like, what would your character do if there was like something up here? He'd be like, maybe I'd look up there. And he's like, yeah, do that.
Give you the space to find it yourself. And
Adam does proper directing. Yeah. Sorry, Abe. Abe does faster directing.
Yeah. Sweet Abraham.
Sweet Abraham.
This is funny too, because like, just one more, the whole conversation that happens at the beginning of this sketch about the WNBA and the NBA, and like the love that the WNBA is getting now is like makes me really happy, and I just think that like there's this woman on Instagram, I think her handle's Nikita Dump Truck, and she does like essentially a bimbos like recounting of politically what's going on, explaining these things. And it's so good. She's incredibly intelligent, and the way in which she conveys this information is amazing. But she did an interview with guys outside of like a sports bar being like, who's your favorite player from the MNBA? And they're like, what? And she's like, the MNBA, not the regular,
turn that shit upside
not the
down.
regular one, but the MNBA. And the look of confusion on these guys' faces was like insane to me. But yeah, the fact that was like the conversation that started the sketch is very funny to me, because it is, I think, very like in the zeitgeist right now of like,
oh yeah, it's like you can get a pretty bad reaction from a particular type of person if you see an image of Jesus in their home and go, oh, you went with white Jesus. They don't like that. They don't like what it implies.
Not a fan.
Yeah. I'm normal. I'm the default.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, people know my political opinions now if they didn't before. But we'll be back, I hope, if you throw us a like and a comment down below. I think we're booked for at least 2 more of these. But I'd love to go through all 50-some sketches. We'll see. This was Katie Willert Experience. We'll catch you next time.